I can see that she's there. Councilmember Suara. Dr. Frazier.
Here.
Councilmember Druffel.
Here.
And Mr. Crumbo. Mr.
Yep, here.
Okay. We have a quorum.
We have a quorum. Okay. Would you read the motion to meet electronically?
Okay. A motion that the proposed agenda constitutes essential business that is necessary to be done electronically to protect the health, safety, and well-being of Tennesseans in light of the COVID-19 outbreak and to conform to Governor Lee's Executive Order number 71.
Okay. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Okay. We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Councilmember Suara? Dr. Frazier?
Yes.
Councilmember Druffel?
Yes.
Mr. Crumbo?
Yes, and I'm going to send Council Lady Swahara a note and see if she'll unmute.
I see that she comes off mute every once in a while.
Yeah. Hi.
Okay.
So she's probably so jubilant about the capital spending plan component that she was anxious about that it's just so much party noise in the background she can't be heard.
Can you all hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, yes. Kevin is right. Busy celebrating.
Okay. Motion approves. Approval of minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or correction? Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Reed?
Approve.
Councilmember Suara?
Approved.
Dr. Frazier?
Approved.
Councilmember Druffel?
Approved.
And Mr. Crumbo?
Approved.
Okay, new business, Lauren.
The first item that we have up is the audit of the trustee's office. This was issued back in January on the 12th. This audit, if you'll remember, was requested by the incoming Metropolitan trustee, Erica Gilmore, kind of as a transition audit to see if there were any areas of concerns or improvements as she took over as Metropolitan trustee. Our scope of this audit looked at cash collections and the controls around them, timely deposit, segregation of duties, and also making sure that the audit recommendations made back in 2015 during a separate audit had been implemented. What we found was that the trustee's office had a lot of good controls and procedures in place. We did find a few areas where there were some concerns. This resulted in 7 different recommendations. 5 of those recommendations were high risk, and the other 2 were considered medium risk. All were accepted, and the 5 high risk ones have already actually been implemented. The recommendations were around concerns and observations that we had relating to, first of all, there were some cash controls where there was 2-person integrity that was supposed to be in place, but we didn't always find that there was evidence of it. So the recommendation of actually making sure that there's sign-offs, as well as making sure that there's timely deposits. The trustee's office takes in a lot of cash, and making sure that they are deposited within 1 business day, as the Department of Finance requires, is very important. And so we needed to make sure that that's happening. The next area was around segregation of duties. We did find some of the individuals that work in the trustee's office were able to receive cash, but we're also able to void or adjust bills. These duties should be segregated. Additionally, something that we'd found in a previous audit and found again was that there were a couple of user IDs that were very generic. They didn't talk necessarily to a specific person. We would always require or request that somebody be tied to every account, and this helps to ensure that any transactions that are done are always tied to a person. Next, we found outdated policies and procedures. Back in 2015, the e-government solutions system was started being used by the trustee's office, but their procedures that were in place were pre-e-gov, so they were outdated and make it more difficult for somebody coming in to follow. The last one was that there were 3 recommendations from 2015 that had not been implemented. The first one, as I said, was related to generic user IDs. The second one was related to making sure that when people leave the trustee's office, the user IDs have a procedure to be sure that they are removed. And the last one being that no reconciliation procedures were in place between the vouchers that they received for state tax, the tax relief program, to make sure that those vouchers are actually being paid. So there needs to be some type of reconciliation between the money that's received and the vouchers received. As mentioned, all 7 recommendations were accepted, 5 of which have already been implemented and the remaining 2 later in 2021. With us today, I see that we have Eugene Hampton, who's the financial officer for the trustee. Probably with him is Erica Gilmore, our current Metropolitan trustee, as well as the auditor in charge for this audit, which was Seth Hatfield. Are there any questions related to this audit?
Questions or comments?
Good job.
Well done. It was very good, and glad that I'm sure it was a great idea to get the audit done at start. So good idea.
Did Eugene have anything to add to that or comments here that would be important?
Just want to thank you all for welcoming. I started on September 1st, and y'all already had started the audit. So, and me and Ms. Trustee Gilmore all started on the 1st of September. But no, I think all the recommendations were reasonable and obtainable. So there were none that we disagreed with, as previously expressed, and the ones that have not been implemented, we're changing over to a new version of the eGov software. So whereas the current version we have is specialized directly for Davidson County, we're going to more of a generic version of the software. So we'll get those practices and policies updated. And we'll also update the rest of the 2015 recommendations as quickly as possible. But I just want to again thank the committee.
Hey, so if I could just take a moment, everyone's time, just to thank Eugene and the trustee's office publicly. The start date that he mentioned came along at a time when we had this referendum proposal to come out, which was later defeated. But that raised some issues amongst different areas of the Metro government that our charter never anticipated, and put quite a few of our duties at odds together. And I just want to thank Eugene and others for helping us work through that. We had some tense moments there in terms of how all that was going to work, and ultimately it didn't really come to that. But thank you, Eugene, for everything your office has done. And then truly, there's so much work you've done here in the midst of COVID to collect those taxes, get them, over to the Treasury, and for us to get them back out where they need to go. So thank you truly for everything you guys have done. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you, and thank you to the mayor's office, the council, and the audit committee. We just, we collected. You're all, y'all get together and tell us how much to collect, and we go out and collect. So it's a really simple task on our end.
Thank you. You want to go get my kids owe me some money. So.
I do have a question.
Yes,
Okay.
Councilman.
All right, thank you. I was trying to use the raise hand thing, but I can't find it either. Great job, and I think it was good that this was done. I concur with what everybody is saying. My question to Lauren, it's not much, but I have 2. The first one is that I see that even some of the findings are complementary in nature, where when there's something found here, maybe there's something that's been done somewhere else. Since we're talking cash, I think it's good to be able to look at, did we find the dollar impact? Was any cash missing, or were there other procedures in place that were able to replace the areas where we had findings? to the point where we were okay overall? That is the first question. The second question relates to the vouchers that is being recorded versus what was actually received. And I was just trying to understand that, does that mean that our records were inaccurate or overstated by the or the differences? I know that considering the amount of work and the collections and everything that the trustee's office does, these amount are immaterial. But since we are being recorded and we're public and we're talking cash, I just want to make sure that there's a level of comfort that we can say that even though there might be findings relating to not signing off or whatever it is, that we were able to be comfortable that the dollar impact was minimal, or we were able to find alternative procedure to make us comfortable. So if Lauren will address that.
So just your first question about the dollar impact. We did not find a dollar impact as far as the controls that were missing around the cash collections. One, we were confident for the two-person integrity. We were confident that it was happening because we could find evidence of it often. We looked at enough of a representative sample that we didn't think that it wasn't happening. We just thought it wasn't just being documented. Additionally, with some of those segregation of duties areas, we did pull the voids and some of the adjustments to make sure that they seemed valid. And looking at them on an analytical type basis, and seeing that a lot of times it was the interest that was being taken off because of certain situations where it was paid before the interest should have been accrued. So we were confident about that. They're not necessarily, there weren't necessarily compensating controls for them in that situation, but we did do alternative procedures to make sure that we didn't think that cash was going missing because of them. And then to address the question about the vouchers, from my understanding, and I'll let Seth or Eugene correct me on this, it's kind of a moving target. You get these vouchers and then they're submitted for reimbursement. So it's not just a straight year. So you may get, like we looked at a year, but there may be vouchers that were from a previous year that may have bled into the next year when they were reimbursed. And so I think even during the 2015 audit, when it was noticed, we don't think that they're getting necessarily underpaid, but you do want to make sure that their potential is there. If you look at the numbers, it almost looks like they got overpaid sometimes. But I think it's because there's a moving target. But I will let Eugene speak more to that if he has anything to add to it.
Oh, that's a great question. And Ms. Lauren presented it very well. Yeah, with the vouchers, as she's expressed, we submit to the state, and then the state does not inform us when they're making the payment. So we know we have the information of when the voucher has been approved by the state and accepted, and but we do not know when they're making the payment. So there's an individual in the finance office that also kind of tracks it for receivables, and we're in constant communication with the finance office to make sure. But as of right now, there's no clear way. The state of Tennessee has changed the software that we use, so hopefully this year we'll have a better tracking system.
Thank you. And I want to point out that everyone on this committee can read this report and understand the impact and everything. I wanted the clarification on record, especially if we're saying the findings that are high risk and we're talking about cash, that we clarify to the citizens listening, or when people go back, that there was no misappropriation. At least we were able to have alternative procedures to make us feel like everything was fine. So I just wanted Ms. Lauren to be able to clear that up. So thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, next item.
Okay, our next item, we did not issue the follow-up audit for the General Hospital pharmacy, so that one is not going to be discussed. So we will move on to the next item, which is the annual audit plan. Our annual audit plan is set from February 1st until January 31st every year. It's approved by the audit committee. We create this audit plan using a Metro-wide risk assessment that we perform. This risk assessment takes into consideration all of Metro's departments, committees, fiduciary funds, trust funds, all the different pieces and component units of Metro. And we look at things like the total revenues, the total expenses, the vendor payments that happened, the payroll, the percentage of payroll that's regular pay or special pay, the number of FTEs, grants, take into all these different considerations. But we also take into consideration whether or not a certain department or piece of Metro is included in the mayor's initiatives, where it may have bigger impact. And also we're looking at when was the last time we went out to the department to actually audit it. So we take all of that risk assessment and we do a color-coded, which you can see within our workbook, a color-coded risk assessment of where each area falls. Then we also ask for ideas. We send out an email to council members, department heads, individuals within Metro, and ask for any ideas or areas of concern, because sometimes they see other things that are in our large scope we don't necessarily know to focus in on. And then we have kind of an idea where our higher risks are and where areas we may want to go into. We look at what availability our staff have. So we take into consideration the hours that individuals within our office can work on projects, taking into consideration things like holidays and vacation time, and just regular admin time. And then that's how we create our audit plan. So if you look in your workbook, first you'll see how we have it broken out on the first page, which is on page 21 of the workbook. And that is to show that what we have to take out first is what are we currently working on? We have certain things in process that are going to take hours from our availability that we have to finish up and wrap up. So right now we have 6 projects that are in process. Most of them are almost done. So we have 1,600 hours allocated to that. Then we have some audits that we're carrying forward from last year that we didn't finish. This is because of things like when we created the last year's audit plan, we thought we'd have 2 additional staff individuals that we weren't able to hire. So we have 4 audit projects that are left over, and we allocate hours to that. And then we have 11 new projects that we actually are going to be able to look at. We then take into consideration our follow-up, our investigations, and our hotline. And from there, we go down into attachment A on page 22, which is our actual plan that we've come up with. So that first section, like I said, that's from our 2020 audit plan that was approved last year, and that's the allocated time for that. You'll see that our peer review is still on there from last year. Unfortunately, with the pandemic, we can't have anybody come out to our office to do the peer review, so that has to be carried forward as well. But our new audit areas, I'm going to briefly go over where we kind of came up with a lot of these, just to kind of give some context on why they're on our main audit plan. Because on the next page, we have other areas that we could substitute in or anything like that. So the first one that we have is care spending. We're not sure about the objectives or the scope of what this one would be, but we're kind of working alongside looking at other local governments and done, and also working with individuals in finance to see, we don't want to duplicate efforts. We want to make something that's going to be impactful. Next, we have our water collections audit. This was an extension of the billing audit that we're wrapping up right now, in hopes that everything kind of goes back to more normal for collections process so we can do a full audit of that process. Then we have the Metro Codes complaints process. This was a recommendation from Member Mendez. We then have Public Works Parking Management with Council Members Allen and Evans. Both requested more information on this and mentioned fees. 15 and 16, the Public Defender and the Ag Extension Service. These are 2 areas that we have not hit in about 10 or 11 years. And so we added these due to the fact that it's been so long that we've been out there. We have a little bit of time allocated towards our hotel tax audits that we help pick up for Treasury. And then we have a general hospital human resources process audit This has come up based on other work that we've done out at General Hospital and just concerns around it. And then lastly, the public schools procurement. This is a huge process, and Metro gives a lot of money to public schools every year. So we wanted to make sure that we had an MNPS audit on the audit plan. Next, we have 2 IT audits. These actually were pulled from last year as well. Unfortunately, we utilize consultants for our IT audits, and we hope to kick off at least one of those within the next month so that we can fully utilize our consulting budget for the year. And lastly, on this page, you'll see our recommendation follow-up audits that we'll be doing. On the next page, you'll see the other potential audit engagements. These are areas that we've seen other audit shops do, or we're looking through Metro's, just Metro in general, and seeing other areas where we could do good audits and do some good work. But most of these were kind of internally developed. And they're just ideas for if we run out of projects on the original audit plan, we can jump over and we can request to pull one of these from this list. Or if we go out to do one of from the main plan and we find that there's some hindrance to being able to complete it right then, we can ask to substitute using one of these audits in place of the one that's on the main audit plan. And then you can see that it breaks out further our audit services, investigation services, and then special projects. And we kept the line item in there for unforeseen requests that we added last year. This was a great one to have because last year we had the trustee who requested an audit. And it didn't mean that we changed our audit plan. It meant that we just put it in here. The rest of this package kind of for the annual audit plan is kind of how our methodology works. You can see where the risk ratings ended up. You can see our coverage map that we ideally would have all red and green, but with a small staff and a large metro, it makes it really difficult. So that's why we have to focus in on those higher risk areas. And then lastly is just some of the key departments and some of the last times that we did audits around them, as they're the larger departments that you would see more high risk because of the money that they have. But that is our audit plan. Are there any questions or comments or changes?
Can I ask just a very minor question, just because I see that it's something that we do in our accounting profession, but you have a peer review down, and I know we have that in a lot of professions, have peer reviews, and generally that's where another outside firm comes in. And is this where another internal audit, another city, they come in and do a review? And how has that gone in the past? Just curious if that's been a big benefit to the department.
It has. So what we have is a member of the Association of Local Government Auditors. And what happens is we, being a member of that, we kind of utilize each other. And so what will happen is they will send a team to Nashville to perform our peer review. And in turn, we will send somebody within our staff eventually to do a peer review of another city. It keeps the cost down low, and we get a lot of benefit out of it. And Bill has said it many times, we get a lot of benefit out of the fact that we are talking with other cities and we are learning from them and what they do, whether we're doing the audit or we're having the audit. And then in the past few years, we've had a pretty good, at least the last one was pretty much a clean audit or peer review from them. But they always have insights, and especially because our guidance changed back in 2018. And so we want to make sure that we hit all of those changes and we incorporated them into our audits that we're doing, since we're trying to be in compliance with GAGAS.
Very good. Thank you.
Lauren, Tom here. Just a question. How often is a department supposed to have an audit, or in how many years is a department supposed to get an audit?
Well, we don't have anything set in stone. I think ideally we would love to be able to hit everything once every 5 to 7 years, but Metro has grown and it's not been feasible or very easily done at this point.
I just noticed there's some that's been 10 years plus.
Yes.
I was just curious what it would take. I think there's a value to try to meet that objective in my mind. I don't know when you do the budget or Director Crumbo would have a concern, but I think there's a value of maybe making sure that there's the ability to do one every 5 years. You know, 10 cents.
It would. It kind of goes back to, yes, we would love to do one every 5 years in all the different departments. I think one of the hard parts about that is we do have some of those smaller departments that we could spend a similar amount of time doing the audit without the big results that we might get from a riskier department. And it's finding that balance, especially with the staff we have. But we do have 2 open positions that would be helpful in accomplishing that goal, since we are budgeted for 10 FTEs and we currently only have 8.
Okay, thanks very much.
Hey, Lauren, I have a question on the hotel occupancy tax audits. I know that's something we've been doing for a number of years, and it's beneficial and needs to be done. I'm just wondering, and I guess I'll talk back to the administration, is that something an audit should do, or is that should be another entity that kind of takes that on an ongoing basis, like a part of their normal day job?
You're right. That was agreed upon with us in Treasury. Mark agreed to do that. I can't remember how many years ago.
A long time ago.
We've talked to financial accountability, the Office of Financial Accountability, about them taking some of it over and trying to find who should be best doing it. I mean, we don't mind doing them. It's just we have to find time. And so some years we do more than others based on how much time we have. But it's a conversation that has happened.
Okay. Because isn't it more of a compliance situation versus
Yes.
audit skills?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yes.
it's kind of just checking it, so.
Exactly. That's
Okay.
pretty much what it is.
Any other comments or questions? This is something that we do by charter, probably by charter, we're required to approve an audit plan. I haven't seen one that hasn't changed throughout the year, and we'll continue probably that, but we'll have to come back and change it as a committee. So it is something we'll have to, vote on. But I want to make sure everybody understands, that, and make sure you have adequate time to ask questions. Okay, with that, do I have a motion to approve this plan?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Reed,
Approved.
Councilmember Suara,
Approve.
Dr. Frazier,
Approved.
Councilmember Druckle,
Approved.
and Mr. Crump.
Approved.
Okay, the work plan's approved. Very good, Lauren. Next item.
Our next item is something that we've talked about at a few other meetings, but we finally kind of put together our draft for the internal policy that goes into our how to audit guide that we follow on what we do on an operational basis within our department for how we're going to do follow-up, implementation follow-up going forward. You'll see it in the workbook. Prior to what's in the workbook, our internal policy was basically that twice a year we would email the departments or our process owners and ask them if they had implemented our recommendations. They would send back a yes or no with a revised date, maybe some documentation, and we would close them out or revise the date. And if it was a significant audit, we would go out and do a follow-up audit, but those were few and far between. What we've changed is that now it's going to be more of an ongoing follow-up. And it's going to be, the first piece is that our office will reach out each month, at the end of each month, we're going to check those implementation dates, and we're going to reach out to the process owner or the department head and ask if it's been implemented. If they say yes, then we're going to ask for documentation. We're going to hold on to it. We're going to track those implementations until project has all of their medium to high risk recommendations implemented. Once that happens, once they're all closed, is when we're going to have a 6-month window to go back out and do a follow-up audit. And that's when you'll get the follow-up report. But to make sure that the implementation actually occurred and what their plan is and what they've implemented actually addresses the initial risk and the reason for that recommendation. There's a few instances where it may not follow that specifically. We may wrap a follow-up into another audit if we're going out to a department and already doing another audit, kind of like the trustee. We did a 2015 audit follow-up with that one because we were already out there. Another instance is sometimes we do run into the fact that some departments have to request budget funding or they have to buy a system or any type of IT related item that can take a lot longer. So if we see that the majority of those recommendations has been implemented, but we have a long period of time before the next one is, we may go on and do a follow-up audit and just wait until the last one. And go on and do the follow-up audit, and then when the last one finally is implemented, we'll do a separate follow-up for that one. But that way we keep people on track and we hit them early instead of waiting a year or 2 years, excuse me, especially if the budget doesn't come for another year or two. So that's if they're implemented. If they're not implemented is where a lot more of the discussion comes in. First, if we get a revised date, then we're going to ask why they need a revised date, and we're going to ask what that date is. Or if we don't get a response, the department does not respond, we're going to note it. And that is when we will bring to each audit committee meeting a list. And so if they closed it, that's great. But if they needed a revised date, we're going to let y'all know what the actual recommendation was, the reason for the revision, the revised date, and then what that date is. Or if they don't respond, we're going to let y'all know. And at that point, the discussion can be had on whether or not those process owners need to come in to either explain the revised date or explain why they didn't respond to begin with. So those are the changes that have happened within the policy. But we wanted y'all to see it to make sure that we're all on the same page, and also to take into any consideration if y'all have any changes that you'd like to see made.
Yeah, this is very good to document. I know we've been talking about this for the last couple of committees. And this is something I guess you can share with the departments that are being audited on what kind of follow-up should be expected. Okay. Any comments?
I want to add that, yeah, this is great because I'm looking at one that, and I may be reading the document wrong, Lauren, that has 24 recommendations from 2017 and 23 is still open. And that is a lot. And I wonder what's going on with that. So being able to track these recommendations and to see, because I will be interested in knowing why 23 or 24 recommendation is still out from 2017 and what impact is having on operations and what is the reason why it's not. I think it's very important. Otherwise, we're just doing the audit. If we're not following up, then changes are not being made. So I do concur that this is a great change in procedure, and I'm interested once you've been able to do your follow-up to be able to go back and see where all they stand. So thank you.
I will address the 23 outstanding recommendations, as that was our occupational safety audit that was done back in 2017. I'll admit that I think that their revised dates are not for another couple of years because it requires legislation. I'm happy to share those with you, especially because those won't come up for us to follow up on for a little while, and to share that with you so that you can see the full impact of it, since it's not in the workbook right now.
We'll like that. Thank you.
And Lauren, how many hours is in our plan we just approved to have follow-up?
There are 800 hours in there.
Okay.
As we do have a backlog, so we are going to have to work through a small backlog of audits that have come up that need follow-up. But what we have found is that our follow-ups so far have taken about 200 hours for us to do. And the staff that we have is great in the fact that they're starting to learn to juggle a follow-up audit while they're doing a regular project. Okay. So I think that we can get through these pretty quickly, but it'll be about 800 hours, give or take.
Okay, because it has to be a priority because it's a completion of a previous audit. Okay. Any other comments?
We're also hoping some of our audits, our performance audits, we will also be able to put a follow-up component in those as well. So they may not be follow-up audits.
Okay, thank you. Very good. Well done. Any other comments about this? This is an ongoing process update. We don't need to vote on this.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Project status.
Well, so I will go on and hit the implementation status
Okay.
right before that to try to show what that policy kind of incorporates into it, since I didn't hit it a second ago. But basically, you'll see that table, like Councilmember Suara noted. And the ones that have an X next to them had at least one recommendation that was due before 1/31 that we followed up on. Now, if you see nothing next to the number, it means that all recommendations that were due were implemented and we're good to go. But if there's a note next to it, whether it says revised date or, and not in this case, because we had all of our different departments responded. But in other instances, it would say no response. And that would lead us to the next page where you can see the detail of the 7 recommendations that requested a revised date. In each of these situations, work is being done towards implementation. The first one is a budget issue that capital funding has not been approved yet. The development conditions ones, funding for a new staff person has been allocated. It was allocated with the budget last year, but they haven't been able to fill the position because of the hiring freeze. But once that position is filled, those 3 planning development conditions, recommendations will be fulfilled. And then the public works one, they have a final draft policy, but it is with legal right now. So they are working through that. The general government benefits one with M&PS actually has pretty much been implemented. When we made the workbook, we were notified that the person who was the process owner had left. And so we gave them a little bit of leeway to determine whether an audit had been implemented, but we've met with them since then, and it appears that that one has most likely been implemented. We've just got to talk through what they did. And the last one is due to the fact that the library had to ask multiple areas, and with the pandemic and people being in different places, they're trying to gather the list of items that they need, but they're combining it right now, and hopefully that one will be done very soon as well. So that would open up the question of if there are any items on that list that have concerns around them or process owners that the audit committee would like to call in to discuss anything further.
Any comments? Okay.
Our next item is the ongoing projects. Since we are at the beginning of an audit plan, there's not much on our list right now. We have 7 projects that are currently there, 5 of which are in the draft reporting phase, and 2 which are in planning / one may have already moved to field work. Since this was done, we haven't had any investigations yet. We haven't had any phone calls to the hotline in the past 9 days. So that's our current project status.
Okay. Questions? Okay.
Our next item, which is the Criminal Justice Information Services clearance for Metropolitan Audit Committee members. When I sent out the request for ideas, I got a response from Councilmember Mendez, who pointed out something that is actually very important that we haven't discussed in a while, and that is that our office creates, or our office currently, all of our individuals within the office are CJIS cleared, which means that we can look at criminal information for audit purposes and allowed purposes, and we've had background checks and we have had training on what we can do with that information. But as Councilmember Mendez pointed out, we currently don't have any audit committee members that have CJIS clearance. And this is important because if we do put out a report that could be beneficial in times of crisis, that has information in it, we don't have anybody on the audit committee that can read it and that can evaluate certain policies, procedures, anything within that report that could be important at a time. Additionally, for implementation purposes, it's helpful because it's good for our audit committee members to be able of us to ensure that those recommendations are implemented. With that, I told him that I would open the discussion for whether or not our audit committee wants to, one, decide if people should be required or a number of individuals, whether it's one or two or more on the audit committee, get their CJIS clearance, and then how to best codify that if that's decided, whether that be through the bylaws or another method.
Just a quick question. What's that entail?
What you have to do is you fill out this form, and then you go down, you schedule a time to go down to the police station, and they will take your fingerprints. They will run a background check looking for certain items. I'm not completely sure what. And then if you pass that clearance, then you will be instructed to take it's like a 1 hour training video that basically tells you how to handle CJIS information and the importance of keeping it confidential and only using it for explicit purposes.
In the past, we've had one member would have this clearance, and I believe it was Council Member Mendez. And again, we're introducing this. We're kind of making people aware of it, and we can do something today, or we can think about it, put it on the agenda for next time. But the thinking was, when we had one of these audits, a member of the audit committee, at least one, could review it and report back if they found anything unusual. Then I think probably about a year ago, we were in discussion, and Lauren, correct me if I'm wrong, to have everyone go through this process. And then March 15th hit, and everything kind of got, everybody knows what happened then. And so I think it just kind of got put off because going to the police, the whole process kind of got derailed a little bit. So I guess it's open for discussion. And I think we at least need to have one. The question could be, is this a voluntary thing? Is this a requirement? And so, Lauren, is that kind of couch the question?
Yes.
We have a void, and how do we need to fill it? Yes. And again, we had this conversation about a year ago, and then kind of got derailed because of the situation we've been in. So with that, I open it up for discussion.
Yeah, I'll get us kicked off. Lauren and I were on a rather lengthy email chain with Councilman Mendez, who was pointing out, in addition to what's been discussed here for this committee, that there are other needs for clearances with the administration, for example, with the bombing that happened on Christmas Day and so forth. And so, to your point, Brad, a moment ago about what happened back in March, I was scheduled then, canceled, and never rescheduled. So I got on the hurry-up plan when I got his email last week, because he's right about that. And I'm done. I've done the fingerprinting, the training, and I'm just waiting for them to send me the certificate back. So hopefully still this week, at least one of us, me, will have that. I would suggest that, we do have one or more backups here, at least. I can understand why, particularly while the pandemic rages, not everybody would be excited about run into the vendor for fingerprints. I can tell you the location I went to was, I had to go to Williamson County to do it that quickly. They're not quite as restrictive there as we are with masks, and there was risk in that. I know at least one of you here probably will struggle with any kind of background check. I'm not going to say who that is, but anyway, I think we ought to have, I'm kidding him, by the way. We'll laugh after we get here. I think it'd be good if we had at least one more besides me that could do that.
I agree. I think if that's an issue, we should at least have two, because you need one as backup. So, yeah, I don't know how that would be determined, but I agree that we should have two.
Okay, one, I'm glad, Kevin, that you've kind of closed that loop for us right now. And what I would suggest is we have another meeting coming up in a month or two. Lauren, did we lose Lauren?
No, sorry, I was on mute. Yes, we have our next meeting in April.
Is that if you would send out, or have someone send out to all of us what the requirements are and what it would entail, and then we can then decide at our next meeting, what should be what our bylaws should state, or if it's two or all of us, and hopefully by that time, maybe, and prayerfully that this thing is slowing down and going to places is like Kevin said, won't be as it would be more. It's an acceptable thing to do. But at least, Kevin, I appreciate you doing this. I appreciate you covering this base. Looks like we're okay, at least for the next 30 to 60 days. And if it's okay with the committee, we'll get this information in, see if we have any volunteers, or see if how we want to handle it going forward, and be more proactive versus reactive to it. Is there any comments, or is everybody okay with that direction?
It's a good idea.
Yeah, and so just a heads up as Lauren digs into this. Lauren, I've worked with Leland Greer over at MNPD to put this on a faster track. And I really, to whoever said it earlier, I don't know what happens behind the curtain, as the saying goes. I will say, to whatever databases they could check, I have a much higher clearance from a prior life that is still active, and they could have used that to hurry this along faster. So if some of you have clearances, the federal government or whatever, it may help. If you don't, I don't know if you need to do something more in depth or not. I just don't know what happens behind that curtain. But Leland did a nice job of getting it on a fast track for me. Because we, interestingly, I don't think this is on a checklist anywhere for transition of administrations after elections and whatnot. So right now, I think I may be the only one in the administration that has that, other than Lauren here, perhaps. And so I've got Kristen Wilson and some others looking into more of that for the obvious reasons.
Okay, Lauren, do you think you've had conversations with Councilman Mendez? Is this kind of, do you think this would be okay for us to go forward in this manner, or is it something we need to kind of conclude today? Okay, because I think I imagine he still has the clearance, and it's an appropriate comment that we need to close. And again, I'm glad Kevin has, but we do need to back up. And again, about a year ago, I think we're going off that everybody was going to do it. But we need to be reminded of what that is, and then making sure we have that coverage, because we do have people rotating in and out on a more of a routine basis. So, okay, with that,
my internet was in and out, so I did have clearance not too long ago, but is it something that require annually? What was it? Is it something I missed that part? Is it something that is required? What is the lapse? If someone had one done like 2-3 years ago, would that still be okay? So I missed part of the conversation, so my apologies for that.
Okay, Lauren, can you update on? We're not, unless you have this clearance, there's certain audits we can't look at.
Yeah, and as far as it's updated every 2 years. So every 2 years, you don't have to get your fingerprints redone, but you do at least have to do the training again, just online training, about an hour long, every 2 years.
Okay.
That's
Thanks.
part of one of the training test questions, by the way.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next item.
Our next item is that back in November, Dr. Frazier notified Mr. Reed and I about the fact that when his term ends on March 31st of 2021, he will not be seeking reappointment. And we wanted to, from our office, we really wanted to say thank you for his service for the past 4 years. He has added so much knowledge and questions and everything to help make our office better and to make this audit committee better. He stepped in back in 2017 when Bob Brandon stepped down, who kicked off our audit committee. And we are so appreciative of the work that you have done and your involvement with this committee. So I wanted to at least recognize you, Dr. Frazier.
Well, I appreciate that, Lauren, and it's been a great honor. And kind of had a reunion with Brack Reed. Been knowing Brack a long time, and great having Kevin Crumbo come and just lead the city. He's done such a great job. And I'm very appreciative of the Tennessee Society of CPAs Nashville chapter for recommending me for this particular appointment. And I just appreciate this committee, all the members who really just very professional, very dedicated. And it's just been a very rewarding experience. And I just appreciate working with each of you.
Does anybody have any other comments?
Yeah, Dr. Frazier, was it the Zoom that did it?
Oh, it was Brack Reed. No.
This is public.
No, it's just I'm an old man, and to sign up for 4 more years, I don't know if I was ready for that.
Well, we thank you for your service, and it's been a pleasure working with you, and thank you for serving. So
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'd like to weigh in here as somebody who is not from Nashville originally, but moved here as a much younger man than I am today. Charles, I remember when you and Bill Crosland and some of the others that I've got to work with now firsthand, you're just legends in this. And one of the staff joked with me on my second audit meeting when I knew everybody's going to be physically present. They said, I think you're the only one that's ever gotten excited about going to an audit committee meeting before. So thank you for your service. Truly, it's been an honor just in the short time I've had with you, and it's truly been a pleasure.
Well, thank you. Been a big honor for me.
Well, Dr. Frazier, and yeah, you alluded to we've known each other for a long time. I don't know how many decades that's been. It's got to be over 40 years. But committee, this guy is a pro's pro. He's from the first day I've met him, he's just like this, but he knows what he's doing, and you've been a great contributor to our committee, and be hard to replace. But I thank you.
Thank you.
Lauren, you've got on here new Tennessee Society appointee. Is that something we want to announce now, or is that something we find out later?
Unfortunately, so Mr. Frazier's position was appointed by the Tennessee Society of CPAs. They will appoint somebody for 4 years. I've spoken with the Nashville chapter president, and he has been working to find that next appointee. They were trying to get it done before this meeting, but unfortunately, I don't think that it has been done yet. Well,
we can meet 3 or 4 more times before now and March 31st. If we want to kind of cram everything in.
Yes.
Okay.
But once we find out who the appointee is, we will start with the orientation and everything so that person is up for the next.
Please, because this would be the third. I think Bob was first and Dr. Frazier, you're second, so this would be the third. And by charter, that's how this works. So, thank you. Performance report.
Next up, it's more for informational purposes. Normally, we would be having a meeting in person, and you would each get a bound annual report about our office. We create this every year to submit to the Metropolitan Council to kind of say what our accomplishments have been through the year, and what metrics we have tried to achieve, and just the different pieces that work within our office. So this is more for informational purposes within this workbook, but this will be sent to the Metropolitan Council at the end of this week, or possibly the beginning of next week, just kind of as our annual report.
Lauren, are you going to do paper-bound copies this year, or is that what you were thinking?
I mean, I don't think so unless we meet in person. I'm happy to print them off, but it's...
I would encourage you to take the leap with me. I've gone completely paperless despite the whining of many, but no longer are we doing that. I've done 2 special requests on that, one for somebody who's in the hospital, and the other one apparently didn't have a computer monitor that'll read it. But other than that, electronic is great. So
that's where it is. But yes, it probably will not be printed this year.
Okay.
The last item, which is our budget status is the last item. As we have been for pretty much all year, we are under budget. And this is primarily because we have 2 open positions. We're starting budget season now, so we are making our budget that will be submitted by the middle of this month. We don't anticipate any significant changes, but that will be, we can talk about that more at a later meeting once we've actually finished that.
I can give you a budget update now if you'd like.
Sure.
So, so look, we've this last year, and this, by that I mean calendar year 2020 and then on into this year, it crosses our fiscal years. We've regrettably had the ups and downs of saying on the one hand, hey, we're back in the spring when the pandemic was going to be underway, we're going to need to hold back on our spending. And holding back on spending is different than cutting expenses permanently. And as we went through the summer, we were able to go through a budget cycle and then start to ease up on that. But about the time we were doing that, we saw, another wave of COVID, got over that, thought we were back. We have a referendum and some of the issues and just back and forth. And it's, I think, been quite a fatigue on department heads like Lauren and so forth. At this moment, we have reached a very stable place as a government. If you haven't seen the media already, you'll even see more next week. Bond rating agencies have moved off the watch list and onto the stable list. We've refinanced a big portion of our bond portfolio with a big array of investors. And I tell you that not to pat us all on the back there, but just to give you a sense that very broadly we're viewed as a stable place. And so what I reported to the department heads and the elected officials this last week is that in the week ahead, I expect to complete our last major financial transaction for a while. It's a renewal of our commercial paper program. And when that is done and availability in hand, then I'm going to ease up on the spending restrictions. And Lauren, you should be ready to start hiring shortly thereafter, and then obviously making a proposal to the Metro Council going forward. And I don't want anybody to walk away from this thinking that the floodgates have suddenly opened, but we have a very known list of pinned up demand of things that are just critical to meeting our charter requirements, as well as just different requirements like this committee has on internal audit, like this plan we just signed up for here. So those are all important things will be, moving forward. Others that are more superfluous, perhaps we'll hold back a little bit for the budget process and let the council decide how we want to do that. But I think there's very broad agreement, Lauren, in this case, and others to move you forward, and I'll make every effort to make sure that happens.
That update.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that kind of brings us to the end of the public meeting. Do we have a need for an executive session from anybody? Do we have any other agenda items for the public meeting? Seeing none, Dr. Frazier, would you like to adjourn the meeting? You're muted.
Right.
Okay.
I move that we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, good luck.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.